We've had over a month to let everything that was announced for GMMTV's 2025 sink in. Let's go over all the hype, concerns, and rumors around the upcoming year. I'm Blush, I cover all things BL from industry insights to upcoming releases and more. I think we're in for a wild 2025. I got sick and took time off, but I'm back, and it was recently my birthday. Glad to be going into the new year with you guys. Let's get into it. There were 20 shows announced. 15 of these were BLs, plus whatever category you want to put Sky and Nani's bromance status in. Let's take a look at the top 5 BL teasers that garnered the craziest views as of now on YouTube. I want to mention that teaser views are not an indicator of the series' success. Everything can change dramatically while the show is airing. The latest examples would be how more than the usual amount of people fell off in the middle of Kidnap, even though there was an immense hype in the beginning, where the opposite happened with High School Frenemy, where they were scrambling to make extra fan engagement and content for the duo by the end of it. And of course, regardless of the production, the actors starring will make a huge difference to the views and buzz, so don't be upset if your most anticipated show hasn't received as much attention yet. We hardly have any solid indicators of a series' potential success this early on. One thing to note is that just because a show was announced in the 2025 lineup doesn't mean it will be airing in 2025. However, they will be what GMMTV works on majority of the year. We still have at least 12 shows that were announced in last year's 2024 lineup that have yet to air. In 5th place, we have Burnout Syndrome, just shy of 1 million views. There's no surprise that this one landed itself in the top 5. Imagine just waking up and seeing Off Gun Do will be having a love triangle in a show with the same director that brought us Not Me. You'd probably think you're hallucinating and just go back to sleep. Down on his luck and desperate for work, a man takes on an unusual job acting as the public face of his employer. His new role thrusts him into a whirlwind of chaotic encounters as he becomes deeply involved in the lives of the people he meets. But as the lines between his personal and professional world blur, he finds himself caught in a web of conflicting loyalties, torn between his mysterious employer and a co-worker who becomes more than just a colleague. It's been years of fans asking for Off Gun to be in a role like Not Me brought us in 2021, and not only are we getting a serious drama again, but with the same director as well. Can we please talk about Gun and Do? They literally paired the smallest and biggest actors together, and until now, I don't think we really see Gun kissing anyone other than Off on screen. Well, not unless you include this incident with Tay last year. The main census seems to be hoping that it'll stay dark, serious, and a little toxic like the trailer has shown. We've also seen some more interesting hopes, but in all honesty, I wouldn't be surprised if it actually happened, as we saw hints of a 3-way situation on OnlyFriends, and with these 3 being the main 3, I feel like it gives them a lot more time and storyline to work with. OnlyFriends Dream On grabs 4th place, which is understandable because we collectively lost it when the OnlyFriends OST started playing. Do you think we're officially witnessing the birth of an OnlyFriends franchise? Also, thanks to us crazy fans, we may have some hints and insight into what's going on in director Nunu's head. But first, let's quickly go over the plot. OnlyFriends Dream On delves into the tangled lives of students majoring in drama, directing, art, music, and dance. Jack, a directing major, finds himself tasked with directing his ex, Dean, in a stage production, a role fiercely coveted by the talented Raffi. Meanwhile, Dean begins manipulating Jack's younger brother, Rome, to keep Raffi out of his life. Among the cast of Romeo and Romeo is Tua, who harbors quiet feelings for Arnold, the starring actor and immensely talented dancer. It's got competition, casual hookups, and raw vulnerability. It's exactly the kind of beautiful chaos you'd expect from anything with the OnlyFriends name on it. Can we take a moment to talk about Mix, showing up in the very last moments of OnlyFriends only to take center stage in this next installment? What a move. And Boston, who's often labeled as GMMTV's biggest red flag, brought a strange sense of comforting familiarity when he appeared on screen again. While JoJo seems busy with other projects, we have Ninu, one of the previous OnlyFriends directors, stepping in for this series. Speaking of which, fans have seemed to have found his Letterboxd page where he's stored inspiration for OnlyFriends Dream On. I wouldn't call this a spoiler, but it is cool to see where certain things are potentially inspired from. Like this comment says, Ohm's character looks like he'll be quite a mess. My stand-in and Dark Blue Kiss appear in both Jack and Dean's character, played by Earthmix, so I'm wondering if they'll have a dynamic similar to the leads of those shows. We also have some characters that weren't mentioned in the trailer listed, called Lisa, Lily, and RJ, which looks like he'll be the younger brother. From what I can gather, he looks very dark and potentially obsessive. I'll put them all up on the screen, and you guys can pause if you want to really analyze. And if you do, let me know any cool connections or theories you've made. In third place, we have Dare You to Death with 1.1 million views on their trailer. Starring Jung and Dunk, these two stole everyone's heart in The Heart Killers, which is currently airing. The best part is the timing for all this, since the buzz around Jung and Dunk was still fresh from The Heart Killers, and then the 2025 event took place, creating even more buzz for them. It's like fans were given even more of what they just discovered they loved. Let's talk plot. No one was expecting this murder mystery to be a BL until we saw Jung and Dunk appear. The story takes place after a night of drinking and a game of truth or dare among friends gone wrong, leaving someone dead. In steps our protagonists, a new police inspector, Kawin, and Captain Jade, who must team up to solve this murder. The chemistry between the leads, set against a backdrop of danger and psychological tension, hints at a complex relationship that evolves throughout the series. It's funny because we're seeing them completely switch up their personalities from The Heart Killers, which is airing right now. The only real complaint I've come across is that they look a little young to be in these professional roles, but the good news is that it's in pre-production right now, so we may actually see it sometime this year. I came across this post predicting who they think the killer could be. Strong contenders seem to be Ohm's character, the younger brother, or one of the girls that may have had a crush on the younger brother, but he actually liked the girl that ended up the victim. Do you have any killer predictions? Leave them below. Of course, this one was gonna be up there. Second place, we have Ticket to Heaven. I don't think a trailer has made me cry ever, but this one did. Set in 1996, Ticket to Heaven tells a story of Tonrock, a young man training to become a priest, driven by the hope of reuniting with his parents in heaven. His path crosses with Bart, a troubled newcomer at the seminary who is assigned to Tonrock for guidance. What begins as a mentor-mentee relationship takes an unexpected turn as the two form a deep bond that challenges their beliefs and aspirations. Caught between faith and feelings, Tonrock must navigate the complexities of love, spirituality, and the expectations of his chosen path. Set against the serene yet isolating backdrop of the seminary, the series explores an intersection of personal desire and spiritual devotion in a deeply emotional and thought-provoking narrative. And behind the scenes, we have Off directing and screenwriting, who also brought us emotional roller coasters like Last Twilight and A Tale of a Thousand Stars. This was a really brave and daring move on GMMTV, and like this comment says, the way I breathed a sigh of relief when I saw that Off is directing and writing. I know he'll handle a delicate story and theme like this one with the respect, care, and strength that it needs. In the summer, Jimmy C and director Off were in Rome, and in this interview, Jimmy says that Off's mind never stops when it comes to thinking of new ideas. He also said that Off was inspired while walking around Rome and looking at all the churches while on the trip, and decided to stay longer to study, and that's how Ticket to Heaven was born. Jimmy also goes on to say that Thailand is a Buddhist country, and that doing a story like this on Christianity will be something new. So really, Jimmy and C probably knew what was in store for Gemini and Fourth even before they did. I know we only ever saw Gemini and Fourth in a school setting, but never would I have imagined a seminary. There's already an expected uproar from some due to its controversial themes, creating heated debates online, alongside fans who are saying they can already tell that they will be deeply relating to this. There's of course a few that think that the story may have been better suited for more experienced actors, but I personally think that these two are the best suited given their age and specifically their first appearance together in Moonlight Chicken. I think that will end up becoming a useful experience in this series, especially since they're both directed by Off. It seems like an ideal progression of their career if you ask me. The Thai title translates to The Boy Doesn't Go to Heaven, which leads me to think that GMMTV may give us a bittersweet ending with this one. There's no wonder they left this announcement for the end of the event because people definitely needed time to process this one. Gemini has already mentioned in an interview not to expect this one until 2026, but I can already see the armful of trophies this one will be taking home. And finally, in first place, we have Me and Thee. It's no surprise that Pon and Puin's trailer for Me and Thee pulled in the highest views of all of the announced shows. These two are absolutely iconic. Fans are especially thrilled to see Pon stepping into a more bougie, out-of-touch role as a young mafia boss, opposed to his usual down-to-earth roles. The story kicks off when Thee crosses the line by making a non-consensual move on Peach's friend at a party. Peach steps in to save the situation and decides to teach Thee an important lesson. If he wants to pursue someone, he needs to do it the right way. In an ironic twist, Thee enlists Peach himself to teach him how to properly win someone over. And yes, you guessed it, while taking lessons on how to pursue someone, Thee ends up falling for Peach. What follows is a grand, over-the-top pursuit, complete with extravagant gestures like buying billboards and businesses to win Peach's heart. It's clear that Pon had the time of his life playing this role. That said, with great popularity comes a fair share of feedback. Some fans are starting to feel a bit tired of Pon always being the one to fall in love first. What is this, the 4th time, but hey, at least we got young rich Master Pond, and honestly, that's something to celebrate. Puin's lack of kissing game is usually a topic in their series, and was brought up again of course, but some see improvement in the trailer, saying at least his mouth was open. Many were confused about the sudden comedic switch halfway through the trailer, but at least it's in the trailer so we know what to expect. And of course, if you haven't seen the actors since their last show, or maybe you don't keep up with socials, you would have probably been surprised at Pond's new appearance. Fans pointed out the weight loss and addition of veneers to Pond's visual. Perhaps his newly announced idol journey with Jasper had a part to play here, or he's always wanted to make these changes, but either way, if he wants to appear a certain way, we should just let him be. Many people are saying the thumbnail and the first half of the trailer are reminding them of Kinporsche, especially Pond's burgundy suit, and perhaps that also contributed to the insane amount of views. We also have a Perth and Santa appearance, and with S making big waves in his lead role in Tame Po right now, I'm sure fans will be excited to see him in a support role here. The cast overall have huge fan bases, so I can see why this one is leading with 2 million views. I do want to add that these are the most viewed BL trailers, and when we zoom out and look at all 20 shows announced, the 2 GLs actually have secured spots in the top 5. Girls Rule comes in 2nd overall with 1.8 million views, and Whale Store XOXO at 4th place with slightly more than Dare You to Death, although they are extremely close. Are you guys watching any GMMTV series right now? Are they ones currently airing or oldies? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.